recording at the same time. Okay. So this is the watch lists. On the top we have the VWAP breakouts, and in the middle we have the VWAP reversals. So the VWAP breakouts on top, I'll talk about this one first. This is every time there's a price that crosses the VWAP, is automatically populated in the watch list on top. So if I link this to red, just as samples, Ver over here is crossing the multi-day and the 1D VWAP when this was generated. So on the graph, on the chart, the blue is the minute VWAP, the daily VWAP, and the purple is the multi-day VWAP, which is based on the 1 minute. On the 1 minute, 1 day, so it's a 2-day VWAP. So if I go all the way back, it starts at the beginning of the chart of the previous day. Previous day start. The scanner can be set to scan including the extended day sessions or not, which would be the pre-market and the aftermarket. Those are just settings that you set up when you create the scanner. So there's a bunch of different colors and indicators in this over here. So let's go through them. I'll paste the one of the pages of the presentation just as a summary.
So what are the hi everyone. So what are the names of the three lists? The top list is looking for what? The middle list is just scanning the market for reversals, and the bottom list is doing what?
The bottom one is just the earnings for today. I keep it there for you guys because that is mainly what we're looking at during the day. Earnings day is all the earnings from today. And
right. So that's similar to Jello's scan then.
Yes, it's pretty much identical to, well, not identical, but has a lot of information in this one too.
Okay.
I'll just go through the VWAP breakout column quickly. So this tells you if it's close to a VWAP. Red is close to the 1 minute, and blue would be close to the multi-day VWAP. When it's purple, it's because it's close to both of them. The first price in the listing is the value of the VWAP. So the first one is the daily VWAP, and the second one is the multi-day VWAP. So I selected AUY, and you see the blue one is at 5.5, and the other one is 5.42. Okay.
Can you speak up a little bit louder?
Yes, I'll come closer. So the prices over here are for the VWAPs. The first one is the blue VWAP, which is the daily VWAP. The second one is the multi-day VWAP. Those are just values of where it is now. Options is if the stock does have options, it will tell you if options are available for trading for that equity. The colors are based on how close you are to the VWAP. When it becomes purple or pink, that means we're close to both of them. Some signals occur, some extra text occurs whenever there is actually a break on it. So 1 minute means that we're crossing downwards the 1 minute VWAP over here. You'll have on this one, I'm going up to the other one on top because that tells me all the breaks. So they'll have more signals on this one. So this one over here, 1M and 1MD cell, that means we're crossing both VWAPs, and yeah, this is, yeah, not sure what that is. Oh, is this, yeah, no, never mind. This is just a testing equity for corporations. MD cell over here is tagging me that it's crossing the multi-day VWAP. I'll just show the extended sessions because this one, the scanner is on the extended sessions. Okay, see we crossed the multi-day over here, and M1 buy over here just tells us that we just crossed above the 1 minute VWAP going upwards. So it was this signal over here. Okay. The colors are based on how close we are. So typically, if I recall, it's 15 cents to the price. Unless you're lower than $3, then it's a percentage ratio. The last column, tech daily breakout, that tells you where it is compared to the daily technicals of the day. So market open means that we are currently at market open of the price. So see over here, MGI opened up at 515, and we are currently at 515. So that tells you if we're in the high range or low range of the mornings. There's pre-markets, so this one just popped for pre-market lows. Pre-markets are not shown on this one. I'll just enable that. So you'll see a brown line coming around here. It's going to here. So we have this brown line over here that shows us the pre-market low, and the price is crossing that value over here. So I have indicators for yesterday's high, yesterday's low, yesterday's close, the market open, the morning highs and morning's lows. So this is a very good indicator that shows us where it is compared to technical values of the day. So now this one kick is at yesterday's high, which would be this purple wine line over here. So the scanners, the first one on top, just scans for every VWAP cross. It automatically refreshes per ThinkorSwim's refresh rate. This is a complicated script, so it will refresh at least between 3 and 7 minutes in general. The middle one is for the reversals. So reversals are based on the positive and the negative range. So if a stock has been under the VWAP for 80% of the time and is now touching the VWAP, it will pop up over here. So let's go to Starbucks. That would be a nicer one. Everyone knows Starbucks. So I'll add the extra indicator. So you have over here, I just added the label 14%. So 14% of the daily range of Starbucks was under the VWAP. So the middle scanner tells me when there might be a reversal to the mean. So either it's going to break VWAP or bounce off of it. The middle scanner, when we're at VWAP reversal, it's 80%. There is other ones that I do have, which is positive and negative. So let's go at the VWAP day negative. So this one is based on the 5%. It can easily be changed. So if I look at Twitter, we're less than 5% of the day under the VWAP. So whenever you see color popping up, for example, on Twitter, that means that we're very close to one of the VWAPs. Here's one. So OPK, we're closing into one of the VWAPs. See, we're just at the minute VWAP, and we're at 3% of the daily's range under the VWAP. There's one for positive. So these are good to look at when we are either a very bullish market or a very bearish market. You're looking for stocks that will follow the market, and these are good indicators for that. So
And the one that we were running this morning, was it was just a reversal to the down or reversal to the up or both.
it checks for both, but at 20%.
Oh, okay. So
So
these ones are a bit tighter, the ones you just showed us.
correct, because this one pops up, refreshes much more often. I don't want to get too many false signals, so we're only at 80%. And this is when we're crossing VWAP. The other ones is not when we're crossing VWAPs. The other two that I just showed is the ones throughout the day. So some lists might be bigger than others. So if I go back to the negative, since we had the negative day, you can see that we have a lot of stocks that's been trading mostly under the VWAP. And if I go to the positive, since we're fairly bearish day, we only have 3 that were above the VWAP more than 5% of the day. So these are static until they change the rate. So this one's been above the VWAP for 99% of the day.
And how would you trade that? That's preparing for a reversal, or you'd be looking for it to reverse and go to the downside, and all the ones that have been trading underneath, you're looking for them to reverse and go to the upside or bounce?
Yes, just to follow the market. So at the end of the day, if the market is still down and you have this scanner up on the side and you see the colors popping up on the VWAP side, then you know the chances are that you will be breaking through, just so that the stocks are going to follow the rest of the market. And the reversals is one that updates every TOS update and tells you what's happening right now, which one of those, which is within plus minus 20%, is at VWAP. This is
So that gives you
custom.
enough time to get the chart loaded. That gives you enough time to get the chart loaded and start watching it so that you can see if it's going to do what you think it's going to do and going to have follow through.
Correct. So here LYG is yeah, this is a $1 stock. So let's go to GLUU. So this one told us that we're within 20%. So we're at 13% under the VWAP the whole day, and we're crossing it. We just crossed the VWAP.
So we might be expecting a retrace to the multi-day off that if the market goes with this.
Yes, so if the market is completely
That would be your
turning,
target.
then you're looking at for it to follow the market. Otherwise, there's chances that it's just going to reverse. So you can also change it to be on 5-minute view aggregation periods and whichever period you are using as well.
So if anybody has any questions, you can unmic yourself and talk in there. I think we pretty much covered this one. Give everybody a primer on that.
So what are you looking for on your charts? If you were, going to be trading now, which actions are you looking at?
So if I'm looking at the trading, at trading the earnings, I would look at this one over here, earnings. I see that this one over here, 1 minute buy, we're at the VWAP, so I will look at this one. If I want to trade this one, which this is a $2 stock, I'm not really interested in this one. I will look at some of the daily breaks. So yesterday's close is a good either resistance or support. So UAA, currently we're not at VWAP, but we're at the yesterday's close. So the yesterday's close over here is the red line. So in this case,
Would that have caught UAA on the reversal this morning? Because it was a really good short. So I don't know. Would the scanner have caught that?
yes, it would have given you the when it's back at VWAP, it would have appeared over here. So let me find another one. CVX over here, we're currently at the 1 minute. So we're currently at the 1 minute over here. So if I'm trading earnings, on earnings day I tend to use the bottom one. Look for the ones where colors are popping up to start monitoring, and just wait for the symbol, the text to appear in front to say it's actually crossing the VWAP right now.
Okay,
See
so
this
any of
one,
them with
CVX.
colors you might look at, and then if they have the text in front, it's more of a look at.
Yes. When the text is appearing, is that usually it's within the last minute that we crossed the 1 minute, and on top of that we're at yesterday's high. So yesterday's high is the wine line over here, the red purple, purple wine-ish color. So you see, I'll zoom in a little bit more. Let's see, purple line over here. So we touched that purple line, and we had the VWAP cross. Throughout the day.
And so now, what direction are you expecting that one to go in right now, the CVX? Are you expecting it to drop down to the?
Yeah, I would expect it
Right.
to start trading between the yellow and orange next.
It broke the VWAP, tested the VWAP, and then continued down. It looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's trading between the between the VWAP and the -1 offset. So I'm guessing it would be next starting to trade between the yellow one, the -1 and the -2. See the yesterday's which one is this? Yesterday's 15 high is currently being used as a resistance on the stock. It's very trading between these, so I'm guessing that the next one would be between the yellow and the orange, or yellow between yellow and red one first, because the red one is yesterday's close. So technically right now the stock is green compared to yesterday.
Right, but if you're not using these this VWAP deviation channel chart, you can just be using Jellos and Kenny's as well with this. If you pick these trades up on the scanner, because I plugged them into Jellos and Kenny's charts, I have them all, so you don't need that necessarily. Depends on which one you like.
Yeah, the bands are independent. It's just the bands are an extra indicator that I have here. I can remove them for the stream if needed. So we just pop down to this one. I'm guessing it will.
No, but it's just saying like this. These bands tend to go with the price action, so that when you see Jello putting out the price action, this sometimes might make your life easier, because we just discussed, we had a lot of time to discuss which way this price was going to go, and we weren't having our minds putting price levels in. We know that it's going to trade between those two bands, so we didn't have to take our head out of the trade to go start drawing bands. We already had that when we looked at it. So that's an aspect of this chart that I like. And I like the aspect that if it was a little brighter, if I could see where the previous day's opens and close and the pre-market stuff was, that would help me a little bit more too. But see, it's right. It's kind of now playing within those two bands. But
It did what we said. It went down to the next band.
right. But you see how you weren't involved marking out those prices. As soon as you start loading that chart, you were just able to load that chart and kind of see. So that's a variation that I'm kind of enjoying when I look at this. Now it's mostly on the cues, but we just leave that chart on the cues. But if you got this flavor of chart, then you could do that. I mostly spend time with the scanners.
Wow, that one would have been a good one right there.
And we had lots of time, and you're 100% focused. You would have had lots of time to play around with the options too. You would have had time there because you weren't drawing stuff out. You got some notification on it, so you would have had time to have your options loaded up too to see if you wanted to play with options or just the stock or what you wanted to do. It gave you enough time to kind of grab that. Not a huge move on that, but I've been finding the mid scanner on reversal is doing some good things like midday to get an afternoon trade. I found some nice things that have been, lagging around in the morning, and then when they cross it kind of reminds me of what Kenny said about the accumulation. Oh, it's being accumulated under the VWAP or and when it crosses, it's really ready to go, even though it's not an earnings or whatnot.
We were at 30 cents. Now it's hitting almost 40 cents.
Right, now we're going to play between those two bands. But you see how, I don't know if you've seen Jello do his charts. He squishes them in, and then he goes and he searches for prices, and he shoots the lines across, and you know where they all are, but you're busy drawing on the chart. You're not busy focusing on your options, and you know what I mean? You've got too many things to manage in your mind. So I'm kind of liking this aspect. This gives you an idea of how to use the scanner. So Storm's been streaming this scanner, and I found a bunch of good trades on it. And I don't have to be managing my watch list and stuff like that. So I just kind of keep this open at another window. That's how I'm using it anyway. So I guess we should let Storm go if there's no more questions. You guys have kind of seen how this is working. But you got to watch that center one because it clears fast because it's like we're there, we're ready to go. So that's a little bit of a faster thing. That's why it's empty right now. Nothing's happening. It pulls it up and it's gone.
You can kind of slow it down if you want to have a different aggregation period to it.
Yeah, so you guys can let us know if you want to stream some different stuff. If you don't want that chart on the side, that's fine. And Storm's also pulled a bunch of charts if anybody asks them during the day in the chat portion. Say you're tracking something or stalking something. I'm a Neo fan, but yeah, so you guys can do that. Or if you don't want to see a chart on that side and you just like more scanner flavors, then maybe we can change that around to have more scanner flavors.
Hey, Storm, would there be a way to program it to look for the retesting before it signals? Like if you look at your CVX chart, the prior time it went through VWAP, there was no retest. It went down and then went, spiked through and went right back up. This time it went down, retested the VWAP, and then broke down.
What time would that be?
The right there, 11:45. 11:45. See, it just went right through and down and back and didn't test it again. I mean, it almost did on that one little tiny wick, but not like it did this time. This time it actually went through it on the candle and the wicks and then came back under again. So it's like touching it 2 times but going in the same direction within a period of time.
The problem with that is that it can't really be programmed unless you want it to be based on number of touches, and then that would be daily touches or through a certain period. Let's say maybe I think it could be done. Let's say in the past 5 minutes, how many times it touches, but at this point it's just better to wait until you actually get the signal, and then you look at it, you analyze it on your
And you
own.
start you can start stalking it if you think it looks prosperous. You know, if it looks like a stock you want to trade, then you can start stalking it and wait for its thing. But I would say if you probably wanted to clean up that scanner to get less or to get a cleaner break on that, you probably have to zoom out to a larger time frame to take out some noise of the 1 minute. But I don't know what that would be like, so maybe that's a scanner to be tested. Who knows?
Because you can always create your own watch list with the columns with the stocks that you have. So let's see what I have for. No, that's not it. Let's say you go at the public list for the gap. Those would be, since we're bullish, bearish market. Let's say the gap ups. So you have your list of gap ups, or you make your own watch list, and you can have the columns up on your side and just go through them of all your preferred stocks. So here we have PLT that is at the VWAP, crossing the VWAP. Here.
See, so now this will be its second touch. So let's see what happens there.
How is the market doing actually right now? Is it upwards or? No,
Q's just bounced off of VWAP.
Yeah, the Q's just bounced off. So
They
UV
rejected.
is coming up again, but
See, so now I guess if you wanted, you'd wait for it to cross, and then you'd know where your defined stop would be, somewhere around the 21 where it's breaking out from, right? That little level that it's breaking out from. So you could chance it right now, or you could wait till it cleanly breaks, retraces, and then takes off and plays between the 21 to 2183 area.
correct. So
You know,
you could take a bit of profits halfway, and or maybe half the profits by the time you reach the 2183. 80% of your profits should be taken by 2243 if you're up. If you're going short, you can put your stop halfway over here or just above the yellow line. That could be one of your stops. Since we're not in the morning, the ranges are more consistent after the morning rush.
but you see how I just said right there, you could try it and put your stop at 21 even, so you're risking 21 cents to make, what was it, 60 or something like that. Yeah. If you didn't want to wait for the actual cross and retrace. I tend to like to wait for it to get over and then go back down to hit the VWAP and then bounce off of it and continue on in the direction I thought the trade was. So this is, you know, if you wanted to try that early entry, you would have got stopped out right here. But that's, you know, where that accumulation was. That's where I would have put my stop. But if I was being cautious, I would have waited for the VWAP break if I was trying to be early. And say in the morning market where it goes faster, you know, maybe you can try that a little more than in the afternoon when it's slower.
So the steps over here for this one are 0.6. So 60 cents is your gap range between each V1 band.
And you can see how the price tracks in between them nicely. So once you enter a band, you're going to play in it and then leave it and play in it and then leave it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's a good primer.
Yeah.
This will be on YouTube, so you guys can know what to do with the scanner during the day. And then, I don't know, if you guys have ideas or stuff you want to see, or you don't want to see a chart, you want to see more scanners, then I guess we can work on that. And then these scripts are also available. Storm put them up under the coder section. So if you want to contact him about actually getting them for your own ThinkorSwim setup, but if you don't have a ThinkorSwim setup, as some people don't, then you can kind of at least access the VWAP stuff and use it with whatever you're doing through here until you can get on ThinkorSwim. Or if you're never getting on ThinkorSwim, at least you've got some kind of scanner that works the same way as Kenny's and Jello's does to be able to play along too.
Yeah, so I started putting all my indicators and watch lists. I haven't done the VWAP offset yet. I'll try to do that to put that up with the explanation and summary and maybe a price target for the VWAP offsets this weekend. Almost everything else is up right now in the coder contact. So I'll just type it up here. Prices are not yet definite, but I put what I estimate they would be worth. It's usually packages of multiple indicators at the same time. I'll be providing like help files that helps you on how to install everything. That's the main work post what they are right now. It's explaining how to install everything.
So right there now in the documentation is also, you can read how to use them too, right? To prime yourself.
Correct.
So if you go through, like, this is just a visual for all of us, but if you go through and actually look in the coder section at all of these individual scanners, then you can really kind of dig in and see if they're for you and what they're all about.
Starting next week, I am starting to work, so I might be on every 2 weeks or so. It's a 50-50% work right now at employment and at home. So once I'm at home, I think I can be able to stream that monitor, but it's not yet defined. I don't know yet.
Well, maybe you and I can work something out, or somebody else can work something else and do some of this streaming as well. You know, we're all just getting to know each other and everything here, so it can be whatever it is we want to make it.
Yeah, sure. Just PM me with requests or information, and
yeah, all of us. Okay, I gotta go. Thank you very much for this, and I guess we'll let you guys know when the video's up of what we just did there, and you guys can talk to Storm as you wish. So thanks for doing this for us.
thanks for being here, guys.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.